it sounded like Mira. Sorry, my bad. You're not a fan of monogamy? I don't want to misquote you, but you're not in favor of monogamy, or what's your position?
I think monogamy should be a personal choice. There shouldn't be any pressure for whatever a person may think is best of an outcome in the future, because that's so subjective, and none of us really know what's going to happen because there's so many factors lead into it. So there's no point of putting those psychological cages on people in the present moment.
Couldn't you argue, for example, like having monogamy, as Andrew kind of already pointed out and articulated, nuclear family, monogamy, that's what's best for society?
Nobody knows what's best for society.
Well, I mean...
do you know that?
So...
Wait. You said nobody knows what's best for society. Would that include you?
Yes.
So how do you know that nobody knows what's best for society?
What I know is that there's no reason to pressure people psychologically to do or not do something if they're not hurting anyone
That's
around
ridiculous.
them physically.
You do it all the time, right?
Because you believe that there's going to be a certain outcome in the future and you're trying to predict it, because that assertiveness is actually concerning. You don't know.
Let me ask you a question. Let's say you're driving down the street. You drive a car?
I do.
Okay. You blow through a stop sign. Have you hurt anybody?
Well, I would be breaking the law.
Have you hurt anybody?
Have I hurt?
Have you hurt anybody by blowing the stop sign and not stopping? If you don't get in a crash...
If there are no people
there's
around,
no people?
Then I guess I didn't hurt anyone.
Right, you didn't hurt anybody. Do you think people should do that?
No, because that would be against the law.
No, well, okay, well, let's just assume for a second that we're talking about what's moral, and that's what we're talking about, is what's moral, not what's lawful. You would agree there's all kinds of laws which could be passed which are immoral, right? Like if I passed a law saying you can no longer be a member of the LGBTQ, you would consider that an immoral law, right?
Well, this is what I'm saying. This type of thinking is what we should be avoiding, because
I think we should be engaging with it. So let me finish real quick. So we're talking about a moral conundrum here. When that person blew through that stop sign, okay, he didn't hurt anybody. Nobody got killed, nothing like this, right? Did he do anything wrong?
He broke the law.
Yeah, but what did he do that's morally wrong?
Nothing.
Nothing. He didn't do anything morally incorrect. Even though he wasn't thinking about anybody else, right? He wasn't really living up to whatever his obligations or duty were for you. He didn't do anything at all morally incorrect, even though it could have led to this thing. It just didn't, right? This is what we're talking about here. So this is why when you say to me, you say, Andrew, listen, when you bring this up and you say, well, all that matters is that nobody's being hurt. Well, I can give you all kinds of actions where people aren't hurt, but you should probably still be against those actions, right?
Would a better example than the stop sign one be drunk driving? Like you can drunk drive, but not actually get into a crash or hurt anybody.
I mean, it's an infinite amount of examples that we could come up with, right?
Yeah, but the point is that being LGBT is not against the law.
Holy fuck, this is like the most
but
fucking
it still is in some places.
Well, no, nothing we've touched on has been.
It's a little...
Okay, so pick a topic.
But we can back up from that, yeah. That's fine.
We haven't done body count yet.
We could get into body count, but the whole thing with monogamy. But you were saying that we don't know if that's better for society.
We really don't know how that's
going
to play out. Maybe there's going to be other species that will take over, and from their point of view, that would be best.
Huh? Wait, other species that are going to take over?
Do you want to talk about aliens? Isn't this the time?
Well, are you like dolphins? Which species do you think is like, if you had the top 3 species that are the risk for us, where do you put it? Like, I think honey badgers are like number 1, number 2.
I love cheetahs. I'm going to bet on cheetahs.
Cheetahs are going to, okay.
They're sexy and so fast.
Cheetahs.
Okay. But like, you can't even, if I were to say, for example, that nuclear family, monogamy, that's what's best for society, do you disagree? Now, bear in mind, I'm not saying that everybody within the society needs to, there can be individuals that choose to not get married or have kids, but if a majority of people It would be the best for society for the vast majority of people to be monogamous and for there to be nuclear families.
I think based on what I've observed recently going on in the world, I'm worried about a man trying to impose his or her ideology because she believes it's best, and then people suffering because of that, whether it's physical or psychological. I think we should be avoiding that at any cost.
So you think we should avoid suffering at any cost?
I think I made it clear what I just said. Should I repeat that?
Well, I'm looking for which of the value claims is important. So is it the suffering that's important? You want people to avoid suffering?
I feel like there's so much suffering that is unnecessary that's going on in the world right now. And it's very sad. I don't know if I should go into that because it's political.
I love politics. What's going on?
No, it's more so... I'm going to stop right there.
Oh.
Well, okay, but so my position is that monogamy, when it comes, look, I'm not saying that everybody has to be monogamous, but just for the best of society, if there's hold on.
Butler donated $200.
Oh my God.
Brian,
Always
please
with the
educate
herpes. Always with the
Olga
herpes,
here
man.
about how condoms do not protect from genital herpes, and she probably has it already.
Urologist.
If anyone accidentally
Wait, what?
touches her skin, drown yourself in bleach. #body count.
Who's Olga?
Ignore the. He's a urologist. He likes to say
He's hilarious.
things. If you want, shoot shots back. His name's Jay Butler. You want to fight?
Jay
somebody wanna
Butler,
fire
you're
back?
hilarious.
Anybody
Yeah, you
want?
can get genital herpes without condoms. Right.
Thank you, Jay Butler. That was poetic. Okay, so would you agree that it's better for society for people to be monogamous?
At this time, no.
Why?
Because it's best if we have a freedom of choice.
No, that's not what I'm saying. There's still freedom of choice. I'm not saying I'm advocating that there be laws passed that would force people to be monogamous. But as the
Overall, generally speaking, right?
if we
You're just asking the consequence. So he's saying you keep everything how it is, everybody has the same rights. But if people move towards monogamy, do you end up with a better society than if people don't go towards monogamy?
That's a tough question.
Really?
Sometimes when I look around,
It's really a tough question.
it really is.
Why?
Yeah, because
are you oh, go ahead. Are you going to say, because there are certainly instances where even within monogamous relationships, those monogamous relationships don't work out, or there's divorce?
there's so many downsides to that. Exactly.
So-
Like people really do feel the pressure, whether it's a male or a female, to be in that relationship, and their health goes down.
What's the best?
Health goes up.
It very much depends on the relationship, because like I said, they get stuck in toxic ones, so their psychological and physical health deteriorates.
What?
I feel like people gravitate towards monogamy because it's easier just in general, and that's maybe why
it
it's
easier?
better for society. In a polyamorous relationship, or just like having multiple partners, whatever it is that you're into, there's much more communication and honesty that has to go
Stacey
on
good enough
than being in a
donated
monogamous
$200.
relationship.
Can we move on from this BS? Also, Brian, we can totally see you playing solitaire in the reflection.
I played it for like 3 minutes. It was just 3 minutes. I was just having a little fun moment there.
Were you actually?
Yeah, I was playing solitaire for like 3 minutes. I was still listening. I was multitasking. It was just for a little.
Yeah, but what about you then?
Sure.
Do you think that society is better off? Let's say that we kept, all of my rights in place, right? Just generally speaking, you think society's better off?
Modest Hikima donated $200. I would still simp fro number 1 BC. She dumb AF but hot AF. Chat hates, but FR she wants to cook, clean, and care. It's obvious. Brixton will cancel, but panel, do you support Israel or terrorists?
That's not really within the purview of dating, so we're not going to go there. But thank you for the. Do you want to respond to him though? I mean,
That was directed towards me?
Yes.
I thought it was directed towards Brixton.
No, the first part of it. He said he'd still simp for you because you're hot AF. Okay.
Grid 1 Motorsports
She gave you a heart
donated
thing?
$200.
Modest?
I am needlessly suffering through this panel's cookie replies and topics. Even beatin_cheeks has gone soft listening to these girls. I wish Thea future divorce lawyers and Cat Vet all the best.